There's a difference between a stank face when your lyrics are ruthless and a visceral reaction when your skull gets smashed in by the truth. Expect a visceral reaction from your racist friend when you listen to this, because I speak directly to the cold, empty, sterile, stagnant soul of white supremacy. The historical weight of my words weighed through the spiritual hate measured throughout time is what makes the fake spirit of white supremacy hate me, as I hate them too. The British came into the lands of the Americas, Asia, and Africa. They first came into our lands demonizing us for our culture. But as time went by, these vultures developed a sick, twisted, and perverted fetish for it. The shame and the embarrassment they had for enjoying the pleasures of our culture that they privately endorsed behind closed doors plays out into the cucked out state of the white man today, on a mission to treat black and brown men as loose ends to satisfy a sick, perverted fetish disguised as righteousness. They made laws to make the society they colonize reflect their sterile, stagnant little lives. A reflection of the cold, wintry, soulless existence of the caves that they once lived in. Meanwhile, they trick black and brown women to over-sexualize themselves so they can be fetishized. A plot fulfilled by those who hate women and don't appreciate a woman's natural beauty. In their sterile, empty, hollow souls, the artificial beauty that they push is put in place designed to trigger an unnatural reaction of perversion in the eyes of the beholder, which is why they intently push BBLs, weave hair, makeup, and plastic surgery. It used to be that the British used rape as a weapon of war against the blacks and the indigenous people that they scarred. Now they just allow them to over-sexualize themselves so they can be fetishized and disguise it as female empowerment to leave them mentally devoured. The backward state of the subcontinent of India that's criticized today was once disguised as Victorian morality that decreased and infected mortality. I speak on this almost 100 years after the passing of Rabindranath Tagore, a musician, a poet, and an artist who debunked this pretentious, distorted narrative that South Asians were culturally inferior. Tagore used the exterior of his platform to build the spiritual interior of his people by building independent institutions that replaced British colonial education. Before his passing and before the Harlem Renaissance, Rabindranath Tagore was the first non-white artist and poet to win a Nobel Prize, sending shockwaves to the psychotically racist minds of white supremacists. People may ask what these historical injustices have to do with the present. The truth is, with its stolen merit, America inherited its racism through drinking the piss stains of the expired British Empire. An empire that left behind a blueprint for America along with the entire world to follow in their ways of depravity, like the transatlantic slave trade did. The children of the beneficiaries get to inherit the shame from indulging in the privilege of their racist past. I inherited the strength needed for my people to survive to slash your face and leave you dead at last. Historically, we were all made to believe that at those times dehumanization was normal, when in actuality, morality was deformed through the fake laws that they made only to break. The lines drawn for borders between Pakistan, Kashmir, Bangladesh, and India, the borders drawn between South Africa, Ghana, Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, and Nigeria, and the borderlines drawn between Iraq, Kuwait, Palestine, and Syria are the shit stains of the British Empire's remnants that they left behind when they got expired. And now the verdict is in. You're not hyper-masculine, you're not martial, you're effeminate and partial. You're a manifestation of not just the guilt, but the shame at knowing that you hated us so much, from our skin color to our culture. Yet in secret, you secretly consumed the flesh and soul of it, and left us with a dysfunctional, disoriented, and fetishized version that's been distorted and perverted by feculent pieces of shit. The plan does not end after raping, killing, and pillaging the land. It goes towards brutally tearing the flesh out of the roots. It's no longer just an uncivil war for the soul of a nation. It's now about sucking the soul out of the nation completely, leaving the blacks and the indigenous in a spiritually dead state full of self-hate, where they get to spend the rest of their days competing for the identity of whiteness or the white man's resources. And if you think what I say is divisive and stirs up hate, let me remind you that the white ruling class and the British already did that with the historical laws that they made only to break. What I say is rooted in reality, facts, and truth. What they embedded into the fabrics of these Western societies were lies they tried to disguise as science. They made us become something that we never were to begin with. Cold-hearted killers and murderers that'll stop at nothing to leave you with your throat slit.